Well, as you can see, I've got a big box which barely fits into the frame from Perth or Shane 80s. I've got no idea what's inside it, and he didn't put his return address, so I hope it's in here, and if it is, I'll make sure no one sees it. But I'm going to open this now and we'll have a look at the contents. Oh, look at that. That's just great. My chicken scissors are falling apart. Anyway, let's have a look. Oh, Jesus Christ. I would have thought that breaking out of Alcatraz would be easier than that. So yeah, it's definitely from Shane, as you can see. I've got no idea. Jesus, still wrapped. What have we got here? So movie number 1 is Maniac Nurses Find Ecstasy. That is fantastic. I have not seen one of these for years. That is really great. A trauma film, high level, everything. And I believe the Aussie version is uncut. That's fantastic, thank you. Got some more in here. Oh, check it out, Unhinged. Man, these have been selling on eBay for a small fortune lately. And that's the original CBS Fox release of Unhinged. Man, that is fantastic. I don't have a copy of that either. Oh man, I'm stoked about that. You can see how well he's wrapped it up here. It's just amazing. Right, have to keep cutting away. Oh fuck man, this is awesome! This is a video dead! Oh man, that is just fantastic. I'm absolutely stoked. This is the one. It's got a double-sided cover on it. Oops, geez, don't break it, Daz. Man, that is fantastic. I am stoked. Fuck, I'm stoked about that. Well, obviously I got a bit excited there, didn't I? But hey, can you blame me? These 3 additions to my collection are very much appreciated. So Shane, I'm going to send back to you obviously this copy of House 3 and this one of Parents, which I think is quite an underrated little film from the late 80s, from 89, best on release there. But this one is actually new. It's not an ex-rental, as you can see, and is in better condition than the one I'm keeping for myself, so I hope you appreciate that, and also send you some other things that I will keep as a surprise. So yeah, keep an eye for that in the post. Thanks man. Anyway, let's move on to some new stuff that I got. Well, I'm going to treat myself to a couple of drinks of my favourite thing of all time, favourite liquor. Yes, Bombay Sapphire Gin. They say depressed people shouldn't drink gin because it makes them more depressed, but anyway, I think this is the best gin you can buy. And I'm also happy to say I don't have depression. So a couple of drinks and we'll get underway with this update. Okay, a couple of new daybills I wanted to show you today. This one for Blood for Dracula, which was just called Dracula at the movies, but released on home video as Blood for Dracula. And as you can see, it's just a tricolour Aussie daybill there, big fat R rating on it. Very nice addition, and believe me, that was not cheap. I'm not going to tell you how much it was, but it was not a bargain. This one, on the other hand, was a bit of a bargain. I picked this up for $8, and the reason why it was reduced is because it's got the New Zealand rating on it, which doesn't bother me. The ones I don't like are they have these ones where it's like a blue stamp, and they often stick it here, and it's really obtrusive, and yeah, those sorts of posters are just crap. I hate those ones. But look, for $8, I picked this up at Chapel Street Bazaar, and Jesus, it's really expensive there generally. I mean, it's amazing how $100 can just slip through your fingers in that store. But anyway, a couple of nice additions there, as you can see, and maybe get those framed one day. Okay, so we'll move on to some DVDs that I picked up recently. This one here, the Blood Trilogy, including The Wizard of Gore. It's a 4-disc set from Siren Visual. This is the local release. I wanted to get the box set of that one, but you know what? Whenever they release box sets, it's always a good idea to pick them up. But the Blood Trilogy was released as Collection 1, and it looks similar to that, but for the life of me I haven't been able to find it. So it really goes to show that you shouldn't wait to pick up stuff. This one here is a lot rarer. That's the collection 3, but look, it doesn't matter. Beggars can't be choosers, and I'm quite happy with that edition. I want to show you a couple of new umbrella titles I picked up recently. This one called Girl on a Motorcycle, which is described as a 60s psychedelic cult classic with Marianne Faithfull. And this is the uncensored European version. I've never seen this film before, don't know anything about it, so anyone who does know anything about it, let me know what you think. Another umbrella issue I picked up very cheaply is called Love Circles. I can't show you the back of that one. No idea what that's about. Also picked up this 2-disc edition of The Beast. This is, how do you pronounce his name? Valerian Borowczyk. I don't know. My Polish is really bad. It says they're banned for 30 years, which is not technically correct. It was given an X rating back in '84. I just don't think it was released. But this is a 2-disc edition. I've decided to cover that over because even though the picture's been darkened, I think YouTube is so conservative, I thought I'd just be on the safe side there and cover that over. I watched that the other night. Very, very bizarre movie. Very slow to start, but once you get through the first 40 minutes, it starts to pick up a little. Another 2-disc thing I picked up recently was the short films of François Ozon. Apologies to any French speakers there laughing at me right now for bad French pronunciation. Did study the language a few years ago, but didn't do too well. Anyway, this guy directed Swimming Pool, which I thought was a great film. A few of my friends hated it, but I thought it was fantastic. And so I decided to pick that up. That's out of print now, you can't buy that anymore. And another accent film picked up recently is this one. I had to cover its tits there. A History of Sex. This is a documentary about Andre Serrano, who's a very interesting American artist, or photographer, I should say, who's created a lot of controversy for his, well, various art installations, particularly one called Piss Christ, which offended quite a few people. Does anyone remember these Amazon.com releases, plain label releases that they did back in 2001, I think it was? And one of them was The Burning. I can't remember what the other titles were, but this is the only one I got. And I was hoping it would be the uncut version, which fortunately it is. And even though it's got an R rating on it, a US R rating, it is the uncut version. So, I don't know. I just thought I'd bring that out for interest's sake. And if anyone can remember the other titles I issued, let us know, because I've forgotten now. Every horror film fan probably has their childhood favourites, and this is one of mine. And the reason for that is because when I was a kid, I was about 10 years old I think, there was a family friend who had a copy of this and dropped it around at our place for, well, several months, and they just failed to pick it up for whatever reason. So because it was at our place, I used to watch it over and over and over again, and yeah, just great memories of this movie as a kid, as a 10-year-old. And so when I saw this on eBay a couple of months ago in beautiful condition, I thought, yeah, I'm definitely going to pick that up. So nice, beautiful copy there of Friday the 13th Part 3. And because of childhood reasons, this is my favourite part of the whole series. I picked this up quite cheaply at a second-hand store, The Final Conflict, in the Omen trilogy there. Again, original release, couple of stickers I have to peel off there, but whatever. Quite a nice little thing I picked up for $1. Another dollar pickup was The Entity. This doesn't play in stereo anymore, even though it says video in stereo. It just doesn't pick up in stereo for some reason. I don't know, it's probably just so old it's lost its capacity to do so. And here's a nice $1 pickup of Wes Craven's Shocker. I saw this on the big screen back in the early 90s, and it was 11 PM session. I'll never ever forget it, and the reason why is because it was one of the loudest films I've ever seen at the movies. It was they just really ramped up the volume, and it was fantastic. So I know some people don't like that film, but I think it's great. $2 I paid for this one, Loose Shoes. It's quite a collectible, I think, on the old Video Classics label. And as you can see, it stars Bill Murray. This has been released on DVD in the United States, and it's a series of comedy vignettes. That's probably, well, I think that's how they describe it on the back anyway. But man, this film was a load of shit. It was not funny at all. But like I said, because it's a Video Classics release, it's, I presume, quite collectible, and I quite like the cover on that as well, like having the tongue there. It's kind of cool. Okay, I'm going to close today's video with an example of a ruined VHS tape. I've had some contact recently with a user on YouTube called Account Without Rules, and unfortunately he has bought what we called a flat tape in the industry. I used to work in a video store back in the early 90s, and here's an example of what we used to call a flat tape. I don't know if you can see on the spool there, but there's a form of white powdery substance, and that's a form of mold that can grow on tapes that have been incorrectly stored, particularly in conditions that are very humid or hot for long periods of time, and which is a problem in this country in particular because it can get so hot and humid in summertime. That's the film here, taking it off. This was bought from a video store that used to keep the tapes behind the counter, and yeah, they didn't store them right. So yeah, if you put that in your machine, it will ruin your VCR. It will ruin the visual and sound quality. If you put in a cleaning cassette through it, it will improve the visual quality, but sometimes your sound quality is permanently ruined, and the only way you can fix it is through a service. So yeah, if you're a collector, keep an eye out for those types of tapes. Even if there's some few white spots on there, the tape stuff, don't buy it. So yeah, if you buy it off eBay, for example, and it has that sort of thing on there, send it back. They're ruined. Yeah, so it's always a good idea to keep them in their boxes, particularly here. It gets too hot otherwise. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. A bit of a mixed bag as usual, and next time I think I might be heading out on the road, I guess. I don't know. I want to mix up the videos a little bit because it gets a bit boring. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'm doing next, but it won't be like what's happened today with this video. So hope you enjoyed watching nonetheless, and thank you for your support and your subscriptions. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon.